Hey guys, it's Josie. Thank you so much for being here. So in this video, I wanted to share with you some thoughts about ayahuasca, about plant medicine, and answer some of your questions. Now, I have personally done ayahuasca. I've done a lot of healing ceremonies. I'm not a recreational drug user. I don't smoke. I don't smoke weed. I don't use any other substances. I don't drink. So when I approach plant medicine, I always come from a point of healing. So for me, it's not some sort of like a trippy experience. If you are considering to do ayahuasca, now ayahuasca is a plant, it's a brew that is done by shamans. So it's a combination of two different plants. And these plants are found in Amazonian jungle. One plant represents the male part, and then the second plant represents the feminine part. So these substances are combined and brewed by a very, very qualified shaman. And during nighttime, when you are ready, so you're drinking this substance, this brew, and you get in touch with Mother Ayahuasca. That's what they call this plant consciousness, ayahuasca. And once ayahuasca gets into your body, into your system, it is scanning for any blockages, for any negative experiences, and old trauma, whatever you've gone through in your life. It helps you to heal on a massive level. So one ayahuasca experience can be as profound as literally years of psychotherapy. I have heard stories of transformation, but as always, I can only share my own experience. Now, ayahuasca for me was exactly that, an exploration and getting in touch with this consciousness of Mother Earth, which is the plant consciousness. It's like Mother Earth is healing you on a very deep level. And plants, remember that everything that grows, everything that has life in it, now we are all conscious beings. Plants are conscious. If they're growing, if they're reproducing, now they are conscious, and you will be amazed at how much wisdom you can receive through plant consciousness, because plants, they want us to heal, because we are the ones, essentially human beings, we are destroying this planet. They don't want that. They really choose people who can come, who can experience, who can heal, who can have an impact, a positive impact on this beautiful planet. That's what plants really, really want. And shamans have been doing these ceremonies for hundreds and hundreds of years. And by the way, in the Amazonian jungle with millions of different plant species, just imagine, how can you even understand, how can you just take one plant from here and then another plant from here, combine them together and have this ayahuasca brew and brew it for the whole day? So what shamans are saying is that plants have told them to combine these two plants, and that was the recipe that they received in altered states of consciousness. So by combining these two substances, they were able to produce this magical brew, ayahuasca, and they have experienced ayahuasca. They were calling ayahuasca Mother Ayahuasca, because they were so dedicated in preserving this sacred ritual. And now more and more people from around the world are really tapping into plant medicine, and they're in this day and age of chaos and massive consciousness transformation. So now this is the time when plants are actually calling people from all over the world, come, we need to collaborate. So it's a therapeutic, it's a healing experience. But let me tell you, I think ayahuasca is really not for everybody. I know people who have done ayahuasca many, many times. And I also know people who would never, ever consider doing anything like that. So whatever your path is, I believe that ayahuasca is calling you. Either it's calling you or it's not. If you feel in your heart that this is something you want to do, it means that Mother Ayahuasca is whispering, is calling you. Plants are communicating with you. Plant consciousness, again in use, is calling you for deeper healing, a deeper experience. And if it's not something that you would ever consider, so don't worry about it. That's not meant to be for you in this lifetime, and it's okay. There's so many other ways to heal. Now, what you need to know about ayahuasca is that the internal clearing is happening through purging, through vomiting. And it's not that you just like, you feel so sick, and you do, but it's more than that. It's kind of like a supernatural experience when this force is like pushing stuff out of you, out of your system. It's a very forceful process. And it's almost like you are observing yourself purging. You have a bucket and a whole experience is happening at night. So if you're surrounded by a lot of people and they're purging as well, it can be very unpleasant. But at the same time, it's all about how you feel at the end of the experience, because a lot of trauma is coming through. People are yelling and screaming. It could be very, very heavy emotionally. And as I said, every ayahuasca experience is completely different, and ayahuasca will give you what you need exactly. So once you complete this process of purging, you have this instant sense of relief. And in those moments when a lot of heavy energy, just you feel like it's gone, all of the pain that was inside of you is just like, it was gone. It was like it was removed. That weight is no longer there. And you can just, at that moment, surrender to this guidance of plants, and they can take you into other dimensions. You can see angels, you can see beautiful beings, or you can just be in the presence of love. You may see your departed loved ones. So, as I said, every ceremony is different, and you may not necessarily purge every single ceremony. So for me, my first experience was all about love. My second ceremony was pretty much uneventful. I felt good, but I didn't really go into like kind of this out-of-body experience. I didn't purge much, but I was there. I was just present. I was communicating. I was asking plant medicine the questions that I needed to know, but I didn't get much guidance. And I thought, okay, so that was the second night. So the third night, so there were 4 ceremonies all together. And on the third ceremony, I was shown by the medicine something that I did not know about my daughter, and it was all about very personal experience for me. There are certain things that I was shown about people in my life who needed my help, who needed my assistance, who needed my guidance, and things I just did not know. And I was just again crying, and I wanted to just reach out to the people I love, people in my life, and just hug them and just tell them how much I love them. So that was a very kind of heavy night. But in the morning, of course, after the ceremony, the first thing I reached out to the people I wanted to reach, and I shared all these experiences and how much I love them. And they were surprised. It's like, okay, thanks. But I felt so much better, and I made a decision to change. I wanted to be a better mother. I wanted to be just a better human being for everybody. I could see how much pain I caused to a lot of people in my life, and I wanted to change that. So that was this conscious decision, very eye-opening. So the 4th ceremony was probably the most life-changing. And the last ceremony, I had no idea how it was going to go. I kind of surrendered to the wisdom of ayahuasca, but I still wanted to get some answers, because I have the whole list of questions from what's my purpose in this lifetime to how am I here to serve, and all these questions. And I even kind of had the conversation with ayahuasca, even before drinking it. I asked all these questions. It's like, come on, it's the last ceremony. I need to know, I need to know, I need to know. And what I can share with you, about maybe an hour after I had this brew to drink, all I could sense was darkness. And it wasn't just like, you know, heavy thoughts. It was just darkness everywhere. It was darkness in my mind. It was darkness around me. And it was just a feeling of me getting colder and colder and colder. And the songs, the icaros, the songs that shamans are singing when you are having this whole experience, they were getting louder and louder and louder. And then I heard the voice, and that was ayahuasca. It's like, you came here, do you know you are in the jungle and you can die, and you will die. Today will be the last day on earth. They will find you here, and by the way, you know, there's no way you can call 911. Nobody's coming to save you. Do you remember when you were signing the waiver and there was the phrase there? It's possible that you may die during this ceremony. You remember, you signed it. Well, guess what? You will be that person who will be found dead in the morning. And the darkness over me was getting darker and darker. I was just pushing myself, just breathe. It's okay, just breathe, breathe. And there was this voice, no, you can't win here. It's death, it's finally over for you. And all I could say, just breathe. And it was getting louder, and I couldn't even take this anymore. I just wanted to wake up out of this nightmare. And then I was at the point where I could see death. I could just take one leap, one small leap, and I will get on the other side. And something in me was telling me, you know what? If you jump, if you make this leap on the other side, you can't come back. That's it. Do you understand that there's always this fine line, always, between life and death? And I was becoming more and more and more aware of that. I was becoming more and more clear on what life actually is. And then I was looking at this experience in the world around me and how people are clinging to life itself and to other people who seem alive. And that's what we do. We're here because we need each other, because we're holding on to life itself, and life in any form. Life in the form of other human beings and in nature and everywhere else, because once you release that experience of life, it's gone. It's gone. And then ayahuasca kept on just pushing. Josie, do you know people who, overdose on all kinds of drugs? This is exactly where they are, but they just transition quickly to the other side. And you're there, you're standing right here in the middle. And you can just go this way, and you will never come back. And it will all be over. It will all be just a thing of the past. And all I could remember is being scared, being absolutely terrified. I wasn't terrified of dying or leaving my family. I was terrified to disconnect from life. Because in my experience, I've met a lot of people who had near-death experience, and I've met angels. And for me, this whole near-death experience is always this beauty, and then somebody comes in and meets you, and come on, I'm your angel, let me take you to the afterlife. But nothing like that. It was just like really cold understanding of what life is. And ayahuasca was just saying, you know what? You wanted to get your answers. That's it. You are getting all of your answers right now. Now, you know what life is. As long as you're moving, as long as you are breathing, as long as you have these thoughts in your mind, as long as you are connected to the people, you are alive. And then you release all of that and you return to that space, to that field. And that was the most valuable and most important realization of my entire life. And then slowly I was brought back to life. I was brought back into my body. I was brought back into just a place where I could hear shamans and I could hear people purging and I could hear birds outside and I could feel life again. And then I realized that that's it. I'm still there. I'm still at the edge between life and death. All of us are. But at this moment, I was aware of that. I was back into this physical reality with a completely new realization of who I was and what this life experience was all about. So for, next 2-3 days, I couldn't sleep. It was still terrifying to me. And then slowly, gradually, I was able to process this experience. And I'm now so grateful. I am so grateful. I know that for the rest of my life, I will never be the same. I will never waste another moment. So it helps me. It helps me to bring light into lives of other people as well. To be more of service. To be more connected. To be more present until my last day. And I know that life is limited. And I have this clear awareness right here. Everywhere you are, there's life and death. And at this moment, I am choosing life. I'm conscious about life and breathing. So if you are considering to do ayahuasca ceremony, be prepared that it's going to change who you are on a very deep personal level. Yes, it could be very scary, but at the same time it could be the best revelation and best healing experience, and you will never be the same. You will never obsess over the same problems and same issues. You will be healed on a massive level, and you will have a purpose. You will have something worth living now, because now you see the value of your life. Now you see why you're here. Now you'll have these deep realizations that plant medicine is really helping you to experience and to acquire. Now, if you are considering to have an ayahuasca ceremony, there are many places to do it. Just make sure that you do it with the right group of people. It's not in somebody's basement, that it's in the right setting with people who are very knowledgeable and understanding of this plant medicine, and shamans who have been getting experienced in ayahuasca ceremonies. That's so important. There are places in Costa Rica, such as Soltera Center in Costa Rica is a wonderful place to go, and listen to others who've done these ceremonies. Do your own research. Don't go for cheaper, go for more quality, and be prepared. Have an open mind, have an open heart, and just let plant medicine show you what you need to know. So here you go, guys. I hope this video served you. If you want to share your stories, put them in comments below. And I love you. Be well and blessed. Have an amazing day wherever you are on a beautiful planet. So good to be alive. I'll chat with you in the next video.